What up, boys? Coming at you with that Infernoid deck profile today. I really playtested a lot with it and decided to update it quite a bit and change some cards around. So let's delve into this. So the main deck is pretty simple. 3 Decatron becomes any Infernoid, so it's pretty obvious. Best card in the deck. 3 Hammer Dick, pop monsters. The Hammer Dick Patrulia, like, you can summon Decatron, send Patrulia, pop the back row, summon the Hammer Dick, pop a monster, go into Omega. Too good. 3 Patrulia, pop back row. 2 Entra. Sometimes bouncing cards is really, it can be good. I thought about cutting it down to 1, but I still like it at 2. And it's got a really big booty. And sometimes the level really matters with the Decatron if you needed to make it 3. 3 double attacker, really like it. 3 Systemus, poops on Yang Zings and anything that you can't really get over normally. 1 Nunsu, 2 Deviati, Regeki, Heavy Storm, negates monsters, Deviati's a big bitch. 2 Raiden, and 1 Lila. I thought about cutting the Lila for this 3rd Raiden, but I do like how she's not a tuner, so you can use her with Decatron to make an Omega. And yeah, I like popping the extra back row, the pendulum scales. It's just I like having the access to it. And then 1 Neos Alias to round up the monster count. A guy's been commenting on my videos saying that all my decks need more Neos Alias, and I really took his advice into consideration. So I really tried this out and started playtesting with it, and it's really, really good. Like, you can normal summon this, and it can't be Fiendish Chained, and then next turn you can normal summon again, and then, dude, it becomes Neos. It's so good. Rank 4s, doesn't count against your level. Super solid, boys. 3 Weasening, win condition. 3 Instant Norden. This can of instant ramen is super good. You can make a free Omega, you get a free Stardust, you can get free Xyz plays. It's just so good. And this deck mills, so like you have options on what you want to summon. You almost always have something in the grave to summon with it. 2 Void Seer, protect your Infernoids. 2 Charge of the Swag Brigade. Getting your cards. It's another power card. Sometimes this card is like just as good as Reasoning, because you mill the 3, then summon the Ride, and then mill 4 more. So the 7 cards can be really solid. Monster Gate, 1 for 1, Rhoda, Rekindling, Regeki, Burial, and Galaxy Cyclone. This deck thrives off of 1 of power cards, and like I thought about I used to try Rhoda, didn't really like it at first, and then now in this build it's a lot better because the extra consistency really, really helps out. The 1 for 1 is obviously just power. This card really should be banned, to be honest. It lets you win games that you shouldn't normally win. The Dark Hole should just be at 3. 1 of these. I really don't like this as much because it doesn't adventure game state, and most of the time, like, the combo that you'll have is like you're going first. Everybody always makes you go first, and you'll have like Omega on field and then 1 into banished, and then you'll have this card. So you just hold on to this card until you can somewhat summon it, but I guess it's like your backup push for extra monsters. And then you can summon 2 or 3 Decatrons off of that, and then I just like having the extra back row destruction. I could put the electromagnetic turtle in instead of this, but I do like having it. And I tried it at 2, and I didn't like playing 2 because I'd rather mill Infernoids than mill these. And most of the time, like, they don't... this is only really solid against, like, pendulums. So when Pepe becomes more of a deck, I might play 2 of these. So on to the extra deck. It's pretty simple. Omega, Scrap Archfiend, Black Rose. I added this in just because you can make it with instant fusion, and it's not the Dark Destroyer. Which this deck can have difficulty getting over that card. If they have a second monster, then you could just cease to miss over it. But most of the time they don't. So, and you don't always have the Anunsu. Stardust helps make your, like, you could just make this and it helps make your boards almost unbreakable. Stardust, Omega, a Tondel, and a Raiden or a Lila or whatever. So good, so strong. Crimson Blader, Leo, Samsara. I needed a 5 synchro, and I did not want to do the Armatis. Armatis is a great card, don't get me wrong, but going first, I'd rather have this against like Cosmo, because this has a 2600 booty. You just summon this off of like if you reasoning, they're usually call the 1. If they call the 1, then the Decatron will go to the grave. You just instant fusion this out, and then whenever this dies, you get to special summon the Decatron from grave. So they have to summon their little monster, banish, summon their big ships, use the big ship to swing over this, and then if they have the Italy, you still have a Decatron on field, so the farm girl can't hurt you, so you can't gain, they can't gain more advantage. The Gemnite Pearl, the Castel, Dweller, Big Eye. I might play a Red Eyes Flare Dragon instead of this. Felgrand, and then 2 Elder God. Pretty simple. Pretty standard. 3 tokens. And then we got the side deck. The side deck is pretty... I mean, it's really necessary against Cosmo, but most of the time, like, this deck does what this deck does. You mill cards, summon Omega. There's not really much to side in other than cards that you might be able to gain advantage of off of milling. And then, like, some floodgates. 3 core, and then the 2 fortress. Usually I'll side out my instant fusion Odin stuff for this, but it's just super good. I mean, it's really self-explanatory. You summon this, wipe their board of Cosmos, and then they just lose at that point because you summon Deviati and they can't get over it. The second Galaxy Cyclone, the 3 MSTs. Whenever I play against anything that I know can side in Iron Wall, because they will side in Iron Wall, I will always side out my 1 Galaxy Cyclone in the main, and then just put in 3 MSTs straight off. You really don't want to have to deal with Iron Wall. But you have so many outs to Iron Wall. You have the 3 Decatron, you have the 1-for-1s, you have the 3 MSTs, you have the Lila, you have the 2 charges to search the Lila. If you don't have an out to the Iron Wall, then it's just nuts. You have so many outs. As well as 3 Decree. Those are great. And then the 2 Mistakes. And then 1 Obelisk. Sometimes I side Obelisk in, sometimes I don't. 4,000 beats. I'll reasoning, summon this, and then they ship bricks, and it's all Gucci from there. So, that's the deck.